Hey everybody, what's going on?
See what happened.
Anybody
What's
saying
happened?
anything, man?
Huh?
Am I going out? Am I going
I
out?
think you went out for a second.
You still there?
No, you back now.
I can see you.
I was trying to have from you.
Walking by faith, what's happening?
Walking by faith. Who is it? Walking by faith. What?
Yeah. I think that's Natasha.
Well, anyway,
I know what
everybody,
she's
we
talking
like
about.
to
I
thank
thought
you
I
all
know we
for
live,
joining
right?
us on
Jesus
our
Christ.
live show today.
Oh,
Leonard is lost.
oh, okay, okay.
Right.
Did I already say what's up, everybody?
No.
Anyway, what's up, everybody? Hey, we got who was that? Roberto Robertson. Well,
Yeah,
we got
me.
Rock and this other dude over here, man. Whoever he is, man. We got a good show actually lined up today, where we're going to be talking about the insights to selling fragrances from a professional standpoint, as professionally. We did a show recently, back a while back, about selling fragrances, and this is just a backup part two to it. What's up, B man?
What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good, brethren? My brethren. Dre, I see you made it back in town.
Yeah, luckily. You know. Had to put a little rush order on that thing.
I mean, if he not here, at least Roberto's here in his spot, right?
Roberto, okay.
You know.
Bees, who we got today, man? Oh, who we got today?
Oh, man, we have a special guest coming on, Chris Burchette. He's an independent seller. A lot of people may know him on Facebook and on Instagram. He took some time out of his schedule to come and talk with the brothers about the ins and outs of selling. You know, initially we did a breakdown where Dre and Rock really went into detail about the trials and tribulations of sales on Facebook. So we got a person who, independent seller, we're going to bring him in and we're going to talk to him a little bit about sales. Man, what we got going on with the camera?
Rock doesn't really doing anything.
Rock on that juice, man. He got some in that glass over
there. Wait till we go live and start experimenting with stuff, man. What we doing over there, man? What we doing? Where Rock at?
I'm right here.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's bring them all in.
I'm waiting on him to introduce the dude. So
our esteemed guest is Christopher Burchette. I thought I said it. Independent seller. What's happening, Chris? What's good?
Welcome.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
What's happening?
How y'all doing? Hey. Thanks for having me. What's happening?
So for the people who may not know who you are, Chris, talk to us a little bit about you, yourself, and your background.
Well, my name's Chris. I'm predominantly in the fragrance groups. A lot of them. Some I mod in, some I admin in. I sell in a lot of them, and am on the known trusted seller list in various places. Love my fragrances and love helping other people to love them too. I guess that's it in a nutshell. I'm trying to look to where I can see the comments too, so I'm trying to log in from my other screen at the same time.
I think we let Rock. Can you see the comments?
I see him.
Okay, Rock got that covered.
Well, right now in the chat we got Walking by Faith, which everybody knows is Natasha.
What's up, Tasha?
Nisha's in the chat. Antoine's in the chat. Right. So we appreciate everybody for joining us. This is our first live of 2023. So bear with us if we do got any little things that we got to get through. But it seems like it's so far so good. So we're
gonna do a round table. I'm gonna start out with a question, then we're gonna go around with the fellas at the table. And that way we can kind of get a good flow so we can get the information out. So my biggest question to you is, how long have you been doing independent selling with fragrances?
Independent selling, a couple of years now. I think. More than that. My wife got sick right about the time of COVID, and that's when I had reached out to some of the other bigger names after I'd already been active in the groups and people knew me. But that's when I was able to take this full time because I was needed home. So what has that been, about 4 years, I think?
Yeah, since what, 2021?
21.
No,
has it been?
I think it was 2021.
Yeah.
I might be making that up.
I've been active in the community before that, and did a lot of drop shipping type stuff and the waffles and decanting and things along that nature, to where I was already around. Just once I came home and I had to be here full time, I had more time to fully be exposed and on all day. So, yeah, I kind of live on the book.
So I guess we're gonna alphabetical order. I guess Dre, you next, and then we just go like that.
Alphabetical. I can't count numbers. I mean letters.
Hey Chris, hey man.
What got you into the How you just gonna?
I didn't do that.
What got you into the What the hell y'all got going on? What got you into the
just roll?
Oh my God!
What's wrong?
Just roll.
What got you into the fragrance game itself? Like what got you started this for the love of fragrances, like the rest of us lunatics out here?
Oh yeah. Well, if you go way back in school, there was just certain fragrances. We just did it to do it, and that's back when I didn't know no better and rubbing my wrists together, and doing all that. Yeah. And years went by without any, but in between I got into the oils, like the little prayer oils, and I had a big beard, and the Egyptian musk and the myrrh and stuff like that. And then I got to dealing with this place in New York for oils, and I was selling the little roll-ons at my job at the time. And but fast forward some reason I looked down Marketplace, and some guy was selling a bottle, and I pulled up and bought it. And then I was like, oh yeah, this smells good. I miss smelling. Okay. And then it just led into the frenzy of the groups where everybody's buying and showing their bottles. So you're trying something new. And then I realized that, having a person with sometimes a broken brain, I guess, little issues and, stresses and depressions, I found them to be helpful and therapeutic. And I figured, man, if that could help somebody like me, it could help others too. Yeah, it's, kind of like a lifeline. So originally, that's what inspired me to do it. And as we went, coming from a small town, not having a place to smell anything without blind buying stuff, that's what led to the decanting, which is where a lot of this had stemmed from. And then went from the little bottles to now selling the big bottles. But so I'm kind of getting back into doing the decanting too, just to make things more affordable for people, because a lot of times in big ticket bottles, not everybody can do it, and I think we all should be able to enjoy them. So
most definitely.
Next.
I guess, Chris, my question is from the standpoint as a business owner. I'm going to come from the standpoint of operating as a business entity. First question I have is, what would make your company, first of all, are you a legitimate company as a seller? Are you just, and I know your title is independent seller, but are you in it for the business? Is there a business aspect to it? If so, is it a legal entity that you're operating with under? And if you're registered within the state in which you live to do active sales on behalf as a company, official company?
Gotcha. So this just came recently here in the last few months, but I did formulate an LLC. So, and have the business account, and I filter everything through an actual business account. So now, yeah, 100% am a legal entity with the LLC. It's still no different. No, it's just like talking to, how we talk here. I'm just a regular guy who helps people get their fragrances. Now thankfully, all the money and there's the documents. I'm keeping all this paperwork and stuff in the computer. And something I should have done a while back, but I finally did get it set up through the state of Indiana, and hopefully it'll help at the end of the year. Because man, I've been saving every receipt I can get.
I know what you mean, bro.
But I think that the reason I asked the question, Chris, sometimes when you're buying fragrances, it's always good to know whether you're buying from an independent person or you're buying it from an actual company.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have more credibility if you're buying from a company versus an independent individual. And so that could kind of, help people understand that you're not a fly-by-night guy. You operate from a company aspect. You're legal. You're registered within the state, and everything you're doing is on the up and up.
Yes, sir.
So that's kind of the question, on the basis of my question. And I'll come back with additional questions. I don't want to hog all the time from you. Rock over to sleep.
Rock.
No, I ain't sleeping. I know what's going on. What's going on, Chris? I appreciate you being out here with us, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what type of advice would you give to people? Well, number one, let me rephrase my question. Okay, what type of fragrances do you actually sell? What type of people are your target audience when it comes to looking for fragrances? Are you just in the niche space? Do you do designers? Do you do clones? Right. And the second part of that question would be, what type of due diligence do you want your people to do prior to actually linking up with you or having the trust with you that the type of products they're going to get is going to be legit, safe, and arrive to them in a safe and timely manner?
Ooh, that was a lot.
Yeah.
So let me see. Let me try to back up and see how much I remember. You even got my bird back there laughing. So I don't mess with clones. I'm not knocking any. Wear what you like, but you can't. I'm not the person you would come to buy them from. Designers, sometimes I get like the higher end ones, like the Baby Cat or Tuxedo, but typically I'm the go-to for niche, Parfums de Marly, Initio, Creed, MFK, things along those lines. Due diligence, I even say this to me, but I've been doing it a while and have worked hard for my rep and feel I'm known in a lot of places, most of them. Yeah. But I still even tell people, go ahead and do a legit check on me or search my name. Or, there's a lot of scamming going out. And, you can look at old legit checks, and that doesn't mean someone's hasn't changed in a year since their last legit check. So I always tell people to ask questions, ask your friends if they're buying from the person. Throw a legit check up. And if a seller gets offended by a legit check, then maybe they're going to be offended to take your money. So I always tell people whatever you have to do to feel comfortable, because me as a seller or a businessman, I have set ways I do things too, the way I accept payments, how I operate or ship or send a tracking. There's certain ways I do business too. So as a buyer, I would expect people to do certain things to make them comfortable with how they want to do business. Because it's not like walking in the Saks or Nordstrom's or somewhere dealing with me. Granted, you'll save money if you come and buy like that, but you don't have people feel it's like a safety net to go in and pay retail. Yeah. But I don't know. I like to make it to where you're comfortable buying and you're saving a bunch of money. So.
Well, how can you go about from a business aspect? How can you sell lower than a company like Saks or any other after the resellers? Are you able to do that?
I get that question a lot. So, there's a whole lot of ins and outs, and I don't know how to fully explain that. But so if you picture companies like Max Aroma or Fragrance, the names people know, Joma Shop, they sell them cheaper like that too. So you buy in bulk, and in turn you save buying in bulk. And even like say Parfums de Marly, they allow X amount of their stuff to be sold to that discounter side. So it's not like they're being tricked into us grabbing all these bottles and all these discounters having a ton of their stuff. Things are allowed to go into the lower end market. So ultimately they're still making money. And then we just pass the savings back on to our fellow people who don't want to pay full price. I always joke and tell people they fall off the back of a truck, but but you have to gauge your client as they're talking. You can't joke with everybody. Some people, man, there's just no joking with. Oh man, and then some are like, yeah.
That was gonna be my question too, because I know for me, I'm not even a seller like that. I just sell some of my stuff, but I know you have to go through like some of the things that some of us have gone through with selling with like. Just like a lot of foolishness, basically. Like how many people do you really have like wasting your time and stuff like that?
Yeah, man, I don't know if I want to answer that. No, it's not so bad, but it comes with the territory. You get a lot of people, they'll message at you 50 things, and they're not trying to buy anything. But it's all good because we're all people. We're all human. This guy, this gal, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. And I make time for everybody. So it comes with it. They just got to stay humble. And eventually, they do come around and buy. Not everybody. And at the end of the day, you were nice to somebody. You gave them your time and maybe gave them some advice. And, just take it and go.
Well, Chris, I got a question, man. Because Lenny skipped over the top of me. I got a question actually about sales. One of the things I noticed is that what is your keys to your success and why you're such a successful seller? Because it's a bunch of scams and stuff. You can go both ways from what Dre and Rock talked about in our first episode about sales. How are you able to sustain and be as successful that you are with the environment the way that it is right now?
Oh man, I think that just goes with having that reputation. And you all may not have seen it, but I know a few where you see all the shout outs and a lot of people are very happy with our transactions and dealing with me and interacting with me. And so it's not just, you don't just work to build a reputation, you work to maintain it. So you just people know. And some new people might be skeptical, but then you always have those I've been dealing with for a long time, and then word of mouth. I think word of mouth can make or break anything. So always work to maintain that reputation, and just because you got it don't mean you can start dropping the ball. So I'm always on my A game. And definitely don't act in desperation. I'll get a hold of what'll come in or what'll get. I'll post the prices, and sometimes those, excuse me, I just got something in my throat. Still get hits 6 months down the road. Hey, is this still available? Hold on 1 sec. I'm gonna mute this mic for 1 sec.
Okay.
Didn't work.
I don't know. I don't know.
Came through loud and clear. Oh, while he coughing up a storm.
Right.
What up, John? What up, Johnny? What up, Nasia?
What's up, everybody?
Had a couple people real quick while you was coughing your lungs out.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. Must mean I'm talking too much.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned that you joke sometimes about it fell off a truck. we've got a guy that's not on here now, but he fell out the back of a truck too. So if he's here, you'd understand why.
So it worked out, huh?
Yeah, we can relate.
Well, you feel clean out of one.
Do you price watch, Chris? Like, for example, do you base your prices off of what you see other platforms might be selling your stuff for, especially like the cheaper discounters?
Yeah, sometimes. And I do try to price competitive, or even where I'm beating the other sellers' posted prices. But I also try not to, if I look at another seller's stuff, try to hawk their prices. A lot of times I'm beating them, but I'm not going to go out and tell their people, hey man, holler at me, it's less, or things like that. It's competitive, but you don't have to be a non-custom word to reference that. You don't have to be a blank, to have business.
So be
a I can't think of the word without cussing. So you don't have to be a snake, or a shark. So, but I do try to watch and see where things are priced, and also there's times it helps me gauge to where something might be too high or even too low. So, and you don't want to price it so low to where it drives the market down too.
Exactly.
Wow.
And hurts the value.
My question was more geared toward, like other sites, like something like Joma Shop or something like that, as opposed to an actual individual seller, right?
Joma Shop can't touch my prices. Their PDM sales.
They can't touch my prices, baby.
Even when they have their sales, I'm still cheaper.
I think from a business standpoint, Chris, a lot of the products through retail, you get a lot cheaper in bulk. But the other facet is the overhead that you may have drives the prices that you can sell for too. So is it safe to say you would have less overhead than they would have?
Mean, I'm not renting warehouse space or stuff like that. I mean, this is my house. I'm at home. And, if one of my partners has something, they might have a little more overhead. But I don't have those costs. I mean, I use the Wi-Fi and the phones and computers and stuff like that, but I'm paying those bills anyway. So the fact that I do a business with them is just okay, now I use it for work. So that can come into play with the business taxes and stuff later. But it's not enough to where I'm taxing you guys like a retailer has to do. I'm not paying workers so it's just me. And sometimes my daughter might want to come out and help get a box ready and weigh it or something like that. But I'm real funny about, if you want something done right, you just make sure you do it. I don't want to make mistakes, because mistakes cost money, but they still happen, because to err is human. You just got to fix it when they do happen. So.
And one other quick question. This is for Bernie. How do you keep your doubt out of your stuff?
He don't.
He can't keep his doubt out of his fragrances, man. How do you go about doing it? Pass that on to him.
Man, we've got a teenager, and I'll just tell you, she does what she wants. So, she come out and I don't know. I mean, thankfully, I'll give her that. She don't really mess with them, but she'll come out and say, "Hey, can I have some Atomic Rose or the HOS?" She'll come out and before school and I want to be sprayed, but she won't come and get into them. She knows me having that broken brain. I have like everything in a certain spot. And if it's moved just a pinch, I know somebody was out there. And, so yeah, thankfully she has her own bottles. I've given her bottles too of her own. Yeah, and I think that helps keep her out of my cabinet too. So
I got I got a question from well, I don't have a question. One of the people in our audience has a question for you. I guess you might be able to see it up there, but I think that's a Johnny. I want to say that's a Johnny Walker. But he's asking, do you still find that you have a strong passion for fragrances like you did before you started like buying heavily?
That's a good question.
You know, and I was just recently talking to my wife about this the other day, and the easiest way to answer that would be yeah, because as you see, right before we started, how I did a little 5-spray rotation.
Yeah.
Man, look, when I wake up first thing in the morning, I don't care if I haven't showered yet. I at least put a little taste on, and you know, for a second, and then I'll shower, and then I'll figure out my scent of the day. Sometimes I still stand in front of my cabinet for 15 minutes, like, okay, what do I, you know, midday, I might switch directions, and this bottle's sitting here on the desk. All right, let's do this. I want to smell like this now. But so, yeah, very much so. I don't have a lot of, I don't want to say follow new stuff, but it's still a very big part of my life, and I couldn't picture not, you know, wearing them. And
what's in heavy rotation right now, just for your personal use?
All of them. No, I can't say that. There's a lot of them. You know, of course, it's being the warmer weather, so all the warmer weather frags. But recently, I was introduced to. It's called Atelier Versace Santa Boise.
Huh?
Okay. And, man,
wait a minute. You got to show that. I've never heard of it.
You got to pop that.
You got to find that in that collection of 12,000.
Look at it, digging up in the case.
See, and I just moved this thing around too. So,
I don't know why you did that.
Yeah. There we go. Well, this was on my desk, and I just now put it up in there. So.
You sound like Dre reaching, man.
So comes in that way.
That in my life. Let me write. You said it's called Chanel,
it's Versace.
Dior, and Caprara.
Yeah.
Versace.
It's a Versace, but I guess the easiest way to say it is one of their higher end Versace's, not like your Eros. These ones have a little higher ticket. I actually grabbed this on Joma because I couldn't find it reasonably anywhere else. And this one is like a lot of times before bed, I'm just touching off with that. And so yeah, that one's been super heavy. I like it. Yeah, Santa Boise.
So as far as like, I gotta write that down. So as far as selling, do you deal with like a large variety of houses, or do you usually try to keep it to kind of like the main niche houses like Creed and stuff like that?
The main niche houses, and if other things come available, you know, like recently that Fragrance de Bois. I don't know if you've seen the posts.
They snatched that
quick. There's still that New York Intense left. One of them. That's the only one left. The rest of them are gone ASAP. You know, as things come in, or the BDKs, but predominantly the Parfums de Marly, Initio, and maybe just because I have freer access, better price breaks in them. I have what's the word, man? I'm stumbling, and I haven't even been drinking either. This ain't water, it's vodka in the bottle. I have a personal connection with the house, for one. I'm a big fan of the Parfums de Marly. One, if you get them through people like me, they budget friendly. They have something for all seasons. They even have some that stink. Just like any other house, you know. And I found it. I would have thought.
He said some of them stink.
Well, we got one.
So I mean, the ones that stink, you still sell them, though, right?
No, I've never sold a single bottle. The one that stinks, and now I know why. No one's ever asked for it.
We found through we've been around Fraqcom a lot to know that something smells good to somebody, right?
Mhm.
So something has a market for some. I mean, everything has a market to somebody. So
Lies.
Well, see, years ago when I first started, there were certain things I'd spray on, like, oh, no way, I can't do this. And now I find myself like imitation,
I
man.
guarantee. What is the name? Secretions Magnifique.
Oh yeah,
that has a market for nobody.
They're buying it. People are buying it. I mean, I'm not.
Point. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this thing ours with fragrances is we all don't have to like the same things, and we're all not going to like the same. There's plenty of fragrances we're mutually going to love, but there might be one that I can't stand and you love it. Does it make it any less of a fragrance? Not at all. So, and that's one of the biggest things about this is there's something for everybody out there, and we all don't have to be cookie cutter to obtain it. So that's what I like about it.
So what is it right now? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll follow you.
What is it right now? Let's say as of late, we do this month that's been selling very well that was unexpected to you.
That was unexpected?
Or
whatever you said, just sold 2 bottles. That was unexpected.
Well, like what is like a real popular scent that you've been selling a lot of as of late?
Oh man, a lot of them. That's a tough one to answer. Hair it's off season for hair. Baby Cat been selling a bunch. Valaya for the women. We had those Lyra testers and those flew. Horse Layton, Side Effects. Sedley's been big this summer. Sedley.
Wow.
Greenlee started off hot and heavy, and then Greenlee kind of simmered down, and then came a big wave of people wanting Sedley, and even Naxos in this summertime. I posted that sale for Naxos, and people, but it goes in waves. So you post something, and it almost seems like you create a quick want, and then the post will simmer down, and then it'll come back. It works, full circle. But summertime,
Naxos is an underrated summer fragrance. It actually does pretty good in the summertime in the evening.
Yeah, it seems to kind of be a year round. And I wear the heavy stuff in the summer too. It's the stuff that's made for winter. I'll spray Oud for Greatness on and go out in the heat like stay out my bubble. Back up.
Do you use your fragrances when you're out and about as advertisements to actually sell? Let's say you do have a fragrance that isn't pushing as much. You go out and you wear it just to generate a sale?
So I have minimal local sales. The majority is all people from Facebook or Instagram. I have some local clients, but that's not the majority. That's hit or miss if I'm out and about, and if I know someone's in the fragrance. Like when I don't know where I put my book. When I first moved here, I lost all my clients from up north. Now I ship to them, but I had this binder and it held like 60 decant bottles. So I went through everything and just made decant bottles, and was going to all the businesses and just talking to people, and I printed these business cards off, and it generated some stuff, and it got the name out and for here. But again, ultimately, everything comes off Facebook. That's where I guess my main platform for working is, which works because I'm already on there.
My question is, Chris, and I've gone through this, and I'm sure some of the fellas have done the same thing through an independent seller. And this particular one, I bought one product, no glitches, everything was fine. Bought the second product, it was flat. I contacted them, and instead of trying to resolve it, they accused me of saying that, questioning whether they were legitimate company, which that was not my question. So in that, do you have a practice for working through complaints, or after the sale? What steps do you take to make sure that your customer is satisfied?
And it's been rare to where anything's had to be taken care of. But the times that there were issues, I quickly did whatever they wanted to make it right. Like here recently, somehow he had ordered a Greenlee and got shipped to Sedley. I'm like, oh no, now you're going to have to wait. And thankfully, I offered him a discount. He's like, I'll keep it, instead of shipping it back. So I shipped him his other bottle, discounted out, and threw a decan in. And definitely appreciate when folks are understanding, because stuff happens. We're only human. And then I've had instances where, say, if I phone to Marley on the plane, or however, I can't stay on a plane. I'm supposed to be on the ground, huh? Well, in transport, they leak around the collar sometimes. It's happened. Right. Sometimes they settle, and it'll never happen again. And then sometimes some days go by after he's let it sit, like, hey, man, this is still leaking. Okay, I'll get you a label. I'll get you another one out. And then something like that happens. I know fragrances, so when it comes back, I'll know what it is. Okay, fine. I can't resell this, so I can decant it or just put it in my personal collection. And so ultimately, keeping the customer happy or the client is what keeps people coming back, and it's all about word of mouth advertising. You treat people how you want to be treated, and pray they're about the right and not trying to get one over too. So, but if you tell me something's wrong with it and I get the bottle back, I'm gonna know if that's the bottle I sent you and if that's the juice I sent you in. Right. But we don't determine that until it comes back. I can't treat you any less of a person in between. So it happens. Hiccups happen in all places. But if somebody opens it up and sprays it like, oh, I don't like this, that's
it's something different.
I can help you sell it. As I might know something, but I can't take it back. I can
gonna take that hit, brother.
Hey, when I first got into fragrances, I bought a lot of them blindly because we didn't have access to them, and there was a lot of them I didn't like too back then. But then I learned to just put them on the shelf and let them sit and revisit them down the road. You might be surprised. Oh,
yeah. Well, in this event, it was I just took the hit on it, man. I mean, I sent an email as soon as I got it and opened it, and it was weak. And so I contacted the seller, and they didn't respond. So I disputed the charge, and when they disputed the charge through PayPal, that's when they responded, questioning me about their legitimacy of the company. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just take the loss. I'll never do business with you again. I can afford to take that loss, and I did, and I moved on. But it's good. But it was
I was like, because that was wild too. They didn't even do that in private. They did that in public.
In public, yeah. My personal business in public, my address, my phone number, and all that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah.
Well, that one was wild because I thought that was something they would have taken to at least Messenger or something, but they were just all on the regular page with them. Like, that's horrible business practices.
Right.
But that they'll let me know not to deal with them either, because I know things that happen like that where people won't personally do things to you, but if you see them doing it to somebody else, that's going to deter anybody from messing with them. Which, well, some people at least, I know that happens for me, because I'm like, you could have even on the scam tip, like you could have had 100 great sales. You have one scam, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, I understand business as a business person, I do understand the business. I understand how things that happen. I do understand. I also understand how people try to scam you, but I also understand that there has to be service after the sale to try to resolve any issues, that legitimate issues that there may be. Now, if your policy is already established and you say that we don't accept open boxes unless it's damaged or some other reason that it's not conducive to you to take the loss, I understand that. But to first question me saying that, well, you should have checked references for our legitimacy before you file a dispute. And I'm like, I'm not disputing the company being legitimate. I'm disputing that the product is not a good product.
Yeah.
And so I just took the loss rather than arguing, and just go on, man. So I was trying to make the point that you do have customer service after the sale to make sure that, people, you will resolve issues rather than just selling product and say, hey, that's it, it's yours.
Yeah. Because, I tell people all the time that you guys the people who are buying are more than just a dollar sign. Like, I'll always have time for people. I mean, it's just part of staying humble, and nobody wants to feel like someone just wants their money too. I mean, that's why I don't mind some of the ones that you would say maybe are the time wasters. If we have a conversation and they leave better off than when they started, it comes with it. So
we got a couple of subscriber questions, and another one coming from Ajani, and he wants us to know. He says, Chris, do you do research on what the fragrances in the community are the biggest sellers and determine how you invest? So do you do a lot of following the trends, following the hype?
No, I think that's why I kind of color within the lines. So you somewhat know. So like Parfums de Marly, I'll say it a lot because I sell a lot of them. Yeah, people love the brand, and it seems like a safe bet. It may not be for everybody, but a lot of people love the brand, so you can't go wrong with them. Or your Baccarat Rouge, people seem to love that, or it never goes out of style. And then if you see an offer and you just know, man, I'm gonna sit on those for a long time, I probably shouldn't take those. You know what people like or don't like, or that Secretions, that Magnifiques. There's no way in heck I'd buy a bunch of them.
Yeah, but what about trends? What about trends? When you see when you see an uptick in people asking for stuff like Louis Vuitton? There was a time they were asking for a lot of Aaron Terrence shoes when it was coming from like Supernova, this like the other. Do you go out of your way to try to find those to put yourself in that type of game? Or is that not where you're focused at because
and a lot of that boils down to, is it going to be available to me? Because I'm not too proud to say I don't have access to everything under the sun. So if I can't get it, I just can't get it. I have access to some Xerjoffs, but not all Xerjoffs, or things like that. And there might be some creeds. It all comes down to availability, and if it works, or if I'm shot a price and I pass it on and people are like, yeah, that's kind of, when you get the feel of what sells and what isn't, and what prices people are looking for in the groups. So you can make a few dollars without cutting heads off, and then everybody's still happy. So if I can't do that,
I think that kind of answers Donisha's question too. She was asking if you can find stuff upon request, which I'm assuming is more of the normal stuff, not the like hard to find fragrances or anything like that. Right. I know even with Baby Cat, I know Baby Cat is one that's harder to find, and I know you were able to find that. So on a typical basis, like basically on a lot of the regular stuff or something that may be hard for the normal person to get, are you able to kind of good at hunting the stuff down that may not be over here?
I have, and sometimes I'll set a couple minutes aside if somebody asks, and I know I don't have it in inventory, or we don't have it in inventory, or where I'll pull up a couple other sites, and there's been times I've sent people to other sellers or other websites, or to even where I've went to the other seller because I trust them too. So I only deal with people that I trust. I'm not going to get you a bottle off somebody that I wouldn't feel comfortable buying for myself, because I'm a consumer too. And if I send you to someone else and they give you some garbage, then that's still going to reflect on me because I sent you over there. So I have looked. So yeah, reps are everything in this game and anything, and you do one wrong thing and they could make or break you. So always got to stay on your A game and try to go that extra mile for people. So, and some people do that for you, and it leads to them coming to people like me. I'm okay with that too.
I know that was going to be one of my things too that you just answered. But I was going to ask if you ever, kind of like if you don't have something somebody else has, do you ever, I guess, push somebody to go to somebody else that may have it at the time? You pretty much just answered that. You took my question. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, right. I read your mind. I mean, yeah.
He's already changed it, man. He changed something else already.
Now I got to think of something else. Jesus Christ. Prepared that time.
I don't have a problem with referring if I don't have it and sending to someone who's another legit trusted seller. And so, because it ultimately helps you to find what you're looking for, and I played a part in helping. I deal with a ton of people every day, so
now,
it's not like
like how often do you have to even look outside of yourself? I know you got a lot of stuff, so like how often do you even really have to do like outside research for yourself at least?
Not too often. And myself is kind of wrapped up in a bigger, I guess you would say, bubble, just because who I am linked up with. And I've been doing this a long time, and I've worked with several of the top names to do the same thing and have good rapport with these people. So if it's not something in-house or right around the the spect of who I directly work with, it's nothing to message some of these other key players and say, hey man, I have someone who's trying to find this. What can we do? So I don't mind doing that.
No, I like to water that a lot. I water that a lot with people who have, because I know all of us have pretty extensive collections, but I know we don't have the same connections all the time. So I always wonder that with people that have like larger collections, like, but do you ever really have like, is there anything specific that you're looking for that you have to go outside to get, or is most of the stuff that you get something that's already pretty much in your realm?
Yeah, well,
I get a lot of the exclusive things. So I guess that's kind of where I'm basing my question from.
Like the Herods and stuff, and
that type of the goofiness.
Yeah, bodacious, and and I just sold a couple blue sapphires, so I get those too. But
Jesus Christ,
reaching outside of my realm, like that Versace I held up, or I just got a Roja Midsummer Dream, some Electimus stuff. Them aren't things I carry or have on hand, so I had to source them from another site because I wanted it. So.
I know we all try to keep relatively. I know most people, they relatively stay within the same few houses when they do buy. Like me, I'm big on DC Roja. What is that? Zerjoff? I know Rock. Well, no, Rock is a wild card. Leonard. I know Leonard messes with a lot of the Clives and whatever that other house is that I don't know about. And I know Bernie messes with PDM and Middle East, because Middle East is he's no longer over here on the United States side.
Speaking of which,
export.
I think this is a good lead into Johnny's question, right? Do you see yourself going into doing any type of Middle Eastern fragrances?
That's what the question is then.
And his question is,
I'm up for it.
He's leading into that.
And what does it look like?
Man, it's Lord willing, one day at a time. Because I'm not promised to wake up and be here tomorrow. So do I foresee it? I don't know. I mean, would I like that? Am I making plans and goals to try to make that happen? Yes. But if the economy crashes, how many people are really going to be buying fragrances at that point? Is it an essential? For some of us, it's an essential. But my family has to eat. Them fragrances are going. So
he said no food. He said no work, no eat.
Yeah. No work, no gotta get up out of
that. then I'll probably have to start like hunting classes or something to teach people how to grow vegetables or something. Yeah, it's but like right now it's good. There's a lot of people that love fragrances still, even when things seem tough for the average Tom, Dick, and Harry. People still want to smell good and wear their fragrances.
You brought up a good point. I need to ask you something. How did you sustain during COVID?
Oh man, there's all kinds of money during COVID.
Oh, preach man, talk man, break bread now, break bread.
Well, people were stuck at home and had all this stimulus money, and then they were getting paid to stay home. So
okay,
and well, even back then I was running those little waffle things for bottles and whatnot. The volume of people who were playing compared to then to now, you could run 3, 4, 5 of them things like they were nothing back to back. To where now you might get 1 or 2 out in a day.
Chris said he was thriving during COVID. I know that's right. He said he was thriving.
Yeah, because people were stuck in the house, and what do a lot of us do for comfort? We buy stuff. There's a thrill of buying something. Like, okay, I'm ordering that, and the thrill of it coming, and then the thrill of you opening it, and the thrill of using it, and so some people really enjoy that. As me included, I buy a lot of dumb crap I don't need just for the thrill of it. And that sits on shelves collecting dust, and I'll sell it eventually. But like I got these little action figures and stuff around, and eventually I get tired of dusting them, so I get rid of them.
Okay. Well, we are almost at an hour, and before we get too late, we want to go ahead and give you an opportunity, give you the floor to go ahead and allow the people let the people know how they can get in touch with you, how they can get involved with what you got going on.
I know John was looking for that John Price.
All right, and just let people know how they can get in touch with you and what can they expect from you. You got the floor for a minute.
All right. Well, I just seen this question come in. I think I covered that. If you covered this, I was late. Do I help anyone who asks for your assistance, or you do have a defined client list of vetted people? Anybody, and I get messages all the time, like in Messenger. Every time I log in, I have to go into my spam folder, requests, and a lot of times I'll find messages tucked away there. So anybody can reach out to me. My main platform is Facebook. I believe my name's in here, or you can find me in the fragrance groups, which I'm sure a lot of you fine people have come over from the groups here. So, and I post on there, and I work with anybody who is looking to buy, But my messenger's open, my posts are up, and I do field some things from Instagram too. So it's different from coming to me than going to like suchandsuch.com. You're actually dealing with the person when you reach out to me. I'm live, I'm here, and I'm even crazy enough. A lot of times I'm answering them as I'm driving down the highway, and my wife hates it. But I know better, but time is money. It's hard. And then like when I try to take a day off, it almost becomes an addiction. Like, man, I know I said I'm not going to work today, but let me do just one. Baby, you're not supposed to be working. We're supposed to be spending time always on that damn phone. But it that's just what it is. There's plenty of other things that could be out there doing it are probably way worse as far as work wise. So, I think it gives me the opportunity to be here for my family throughout the day. Keep people smelling fresh.
Do you have an updated fragrance list of the stuff that you have available?
I get that question a lot. And see, that's where I feel I'm dropping the ball. And even though I feel that, I haven't made one yet. Because a lot of the times inventory does change. So I can make this list and then something sells out. The main ones are always there, the Parfums and Marleys, Ischios and certain creeds. And so I could maybe put something together like that too. I just haven't.
Man, the past 3 days, you was on fire. You was dropping some nice stuff. I knew the stuff that you dropped wasn't gonna last long before that day was out. You were dropping that heat.
Back to back too. You're like, you mentioned you talking about, here's another one, man. Another one.
Chris dropping that heat. He ain't playing. He must be trying to buy it.
He wasn't playing no games. Turn the group off for a second.
I just want to reiterate to our listeners, like what Chris said, that you can pretty much find him in the groups. Find him in the groups, and he can pretty much help you with anything that you might like that he has in inventory. If he does have a link, we will have it in the description after our show. Right? If you do purchase anything from Chris, it will be from your own discretion. Please don't contact the Fraqllumaniti about anything.
As a matter of fact, contact us and we will tell you the same thing we've been telling you all these shows. Do your due diligence. I don't care what nobody tells you. Still do your due diligence.
Exactly. So,
and even me, who's been around a long time, if you ever want to post a legit check, by all means, I don't mind at all.
Right. So we will get all that information out to you. So, fellas, what y'all wearing today?
Oh yeah.
You see. Spice and wood.
No, this is pure white cologne.
Oh, okay.
Cologne.
Okay.
See what I went with Galloway.
Galloway.
Always a good one.
Well, what is that? You know anything about the notes on that one?
It's got all kinds of good stuff. The citrus, musky, powdery. Look, I come prepared just like when I did the YouTube stuff. White, floral, iris, fresh, animalic, sweet. This has a personal. It feels for me as a keeper. The first time I wore it, my wife come up. Oh my gosh, that's dangerous. She said, "You can't wear that out in public alone, baby.
Oh,
that's dangerous.
You can't wear that.
That's dangerous." Yeah. She said that's dangerous. So it's near and dear to my heart because I wear it and I know she likes it. And I spend the majority of my time here with her. So yeah, and we were in close proximity today because of her appointments, and we did the grocery store.
No doubt,
so I got in the truck, did about 12 sprays.
Look at 15 sprays, bro. 15 sprays.
I wanted to make sure it lasted all them hours I was gone, we were out.
Around with it. Hey, Chris, listen to your wife. You can't come live with us, man.
We'll talk to you.
Happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, happy life. They and got to have a good system, and we do. So I like it. It's good stuff. I might spray some more when we get done.
I know that's right. Have we cleared all the questions? Because we don't want to miss anybody.
I'm not seeing any new ones.
I think we got all the questions. Marie was just thanking us for including his information in the description, right? And so, we'll try to make sure that we get that information out. So if anybody wants to reach out to Chris, they can. What you wearing, Drake?
You can hit me up too. I can put you in.
I'm wearing a real name though.
Uh-oh, here you go. I thought you were about to pull out the Savant.
Banana Republic. Nah, not this time. I'm wearing Banana Republic tobacco and tonka bean.
I've heard good stuff about that.
Penhaligon's Halfeticito.
That's why you
I'm more Arj Enclave.
That's why you got all that on.
And Zerjal Coexistence. I was testing something out.
You stupid, man.
It was a bad idea. Don't do that, guys.
Yeah, he doing a super layer over there. Super layer.
Don't do it, guys. It's a horrible idea.
Right?
Well, Justine already had set. I brought Setley up, and I'm layering it with Pacific Rock Moss today. So this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it.
I like that, Setley.
Yeah, Remember Me Black, Middle Eastern Company, Rose Bay scent, wonderful blend, wonderful blend.
Black.
Yeah, Me Black.
Right.
Hey man, they say Trey. They say Trey trying to overdose, man.
I just see that.
He grabbed through 3 smokers, man, and that.
Right.
Whole spot's blown up.
What else y'all got for Chris?
I really appreciate you coming on the show, taking some time out, because we've been trying to get you on like 3 or 4 times, but happens with all 5 of us. But I really appreciate you and all the work that you do in the community and taking time out to sit down and talk with the fellas.
Yeah, and I appreciate the invite. This was fun. So kind of the highlight of the day. So you never know, maybe this will inspire me to go back to make the content and stuff again too. But
you got nothing else going on.
That's what they say. You would think I have all the time in the
world. Not with you moving product, brother.
Yeah, I can only imagine what Messenger is going to look like when I get off of here. I haven't touched my phone so long. But hey, it's all right. I'll go through and read everyone and respond.
Well, Rob, Chris, go ahead and send us out, Rob. Go ahead, Lenny.
Well, Chris, I want to say thank you, man. Appreciate you being on the show. It's been a lot of fun.
And no doubt,
man.
I'm about to say, and I just want to say, want to say, Chris.
Say it, man.
No, man, I ain't said it. I'm saying it again. Chris, we appreciate you coming on. Don't ever come back again. We don't want to do it anymore.
Don't come back again. One and done, huh? You don't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
No, you can't be here. Get out.
You can't be here.
You're taking all my sales. Get out.
You're always welcome, Chris. You're always welcome.
Well, Rob, go ahead and send us out, brother.
Well, okay, everybody. The doors of the church are now open. So bring us your sick, your shut in.
Okay. Okay.
Pass the collection plate.
Right. If you like the show and you're interested in the content, please go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, share us out to people. Let us know that we're here. We're here every Sunday. This has been a special occasion, so because you got us live today. A lot of our content is pre-recorded. So we do appreciate everybody that took the time out to come out and watch for us. It was actually more than what I expected. I think we got up to 14 people. So that's amazing. So I appreciate that. So we continue on to we are continuing to try to grow the show. So whatever you guys like or want us to include, we are open to suggestions. Follow us here. Follow us on Instagram. We are on TikTok as well. Give us a shout out there.
I don't think I'm followed on Instagram. I'm gonna have to make sure.
We on TikTok a little bit. We ain't doing too much on that.
We are all on those platforms. So give us a holler. And I'll let the fellas say goodbye before we go out.
Cut.
That's too early. That's a wrap.
He didn't even let us get out first. He ain't saying a lamb's goodbye. He just
Go ahead,
Rock
ain't
Rock ain't even cut, man. I mean,
no, Rock ain't cut. Rock never take right.
Well, I'm
You
waiting
trying
for
to incriminate me, son.
All right.
Holler at
We
everybody.
out of y'all.
We out of here.
We
Let's
out.
get us out of here. It's over.
Time to go.